Hey, good morning. My name is Sebastian, and today we have a new tutorial. Of what? Well, learning descriptive statistics using generative AI. So, for this assignment, we have to put an initial prompt. So, the initial prompt was this one. I'm in international business in Arkansas State University, Querétaro, as a student, and I would like to complement my descriptive statistics class. Can you provide a list of topics I need to consider? So this was the initial prompt that the professor gave us. So after this, I put it in ChatGPT and I had an answer, and it was the following. So the answer was this one. Firstly, short. Good move. That class is for foundation for international business, especially for market analysis, forecasting, and decision making. I'll give you a clean, structured list of topics that complement your descriptive statistics course, plus a bit of context so you actually understand why each matters. So this was only the first part that ChatGPT answered, and it was great, precise, and short. But the following, it gave me the following list, and then I will choose one of them to ask GPT to provide me an exercise so I can understand better, and then I'll show you step by step how did it help me. So all of this, these are the information that ChatGPT gave me, the core topics such as data types and measurement scales, data visualization, histographs, bar charts, and pie charts, measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion, which says is very important, shape of distributions, percentiles and quartiles, intermediate topics, level of your skills, which are probably basic random variable distributions, correlation, super useful, and introduction to regression. And well, these are business-oriented topics. That is where you stand out: data, international business context, and index numbers, and time series basics, data quality bias. So here it says like some tools I should learn, which are a bit advantage, and well, it says Excel's, advanced, a must, or some functions like average, standard deviation, correlation, regression tools, optimal but powerful, that are Python, Power BI, and well, it here says how does it help me to for my major, analyze the new markets, compare countries, support price decision, evaluate business risk, and make. So in here, finally, it gave me if I want to go further, what would I want to be? So now first, I choose one of them to give me a practice problem, and well, to help me answer it with all the specifications asked before. All right. So now, with all of this information, I chose one, which was the data in international business context. So with this, I had also in the assignment some specifications that I needed. So I made another text entry, so I sent it to ChatGPT. And I said, excellent. From the topic 11, which was data in international business context, I want you to provide me a realistic project exercise, not a textbook exercise, to do in Excel, and I want a data set with more than 50 records and 40 columns. So it gave me this project, market comparison for international expansion. Scenario realistic. You are a junior analyst at company evaluating which countries to expand into. Your manager give you a raw data and economic indicator and one insights. So it gave me my task that is clean, organized data set, analyze contractiveness, build visuals, which are charts or dashboard, and give a recommendation. So it gave me the data set to copy and put it in Excel. Then what do I have to do step by step, which is the script analysis and the information, create visuals and correlation analysis, and create a market attractive score. And finally is the interpretation, which it says that is the most important. So I just want some information here, like what to simulate, and if I want something more. So let's get on with it. So after reading all this, what I asked ChatGPT and understand and read it is what I have to do is that in this analysis, I have to compare different countries using GDP growth, inflation, and unemployment to identify which markets are more attractive for international business expansion, which actually is really interesting and well related with my major. So the first tip according to ChatGPT is grabbing my information, putting Control T, and this is gonna create the table and method accelerator and click OK. So this is the first step that ChatGPT tells me to do. The following step that ChatGPT is the second. Let's see. We have to create a pivot table of this one in a new sheet. So let's do it. So this is my pivot table. So these are, I selected. ChatGPT told me to select all of them and put them here. Our rows, what is the country, the columns are values, and in the values, this. But I have two, they were in sum, so ChatGPT asked me to put them in average, so I could have an average of all of them. And finally, I have this. So for the third step, what we will do is that, now that we have our pivot table done, we're just gonna select it, and chat says that we have to create a new chart. And after we create this chart, I need we have this one, right, which we will have to edit soon. But also we want chat is making me to be more specific, so it wanted me to create a proper graph of each of them, of employment, GDP, and inflation. So let's do it. So while we do it, we will just copy this pivot table in a new sheet, and we'll only select the information to create which one of them. So our fourth step. So as I mentioned before, we'll keep working in Excel, and yes, so we had, as I mentioned, we had to divide this one so we can have a clearly idea of each one of them. So yeah, our first one is of the GDP growth, and this is the graph, and these are the numbers, right, because it's already spread. So what we can see in GDP growth is that here China and India are very high, so they have a high GDP growth, which suggests a strong economic expansion and potential opportunity for business, because it's for the GDP growth, right? Secondly, we have our inflation, the same, our table with the data here from the pivot table. And we can see here that countries like here Brazil and India also, India have high inflation, which may indicate economic instability. And thirdly, we have the unemployment, and the same, we have the data here. And what we can see here in Spain mainly is that in Spain, also Brazil maybe, but mainly Spain, have higher unemployment rate, which will mean that there are weaker labor market or stability. So in the fifth step, we come back to this one, and where we can see our interpretation, the numbers. So what can we say finally? We already checked over the overall of them in specific, but in overall, in this analysis, we found out that India and China appear to be the most attractive markets. Why? Because they have the highest economic growth. But on the other hand, countries like Brazil or Spain appear riskier due to higher unemployment and inflation. So these show how descriptive statistics help business to clear in international business.